Another topic we had talked about a lot was McDonald's stories back at the beginning of this podcast.
Yep.
I have another one for this episode, one I had hinted at a couple times now, which is I have never really witnessed a crackhead up close and personal until the last time I've been sat inside McDonald's.
No.
So obviously it was a couple months ago now because restaurants have not allowed you to sit down and eat. Makes sense. That's a good change. But the last time I did go sit down and eat at McDonald's was with one of my old roommates as kind of just a way to hang out, catch up. Hadn't seen him in a while. And we sit down and then immediately I regret my decision because this lady shows up and sits at the table right behind us and more or less behind me. So like my roommate could see her at all times with his seat, but then my seat being parallel to him and opposite to him, I could not see her. I could just hear everything she was doing.
Oh no.
And this lady was clearly on drugs. And it had to be hard drugs. Like hard drugs. That's why I said crackhead. Like, I don't have a lot of experience firsthand with crack, but that was it. Like, she ordered, it was like fries and nuggets. And sat down, and in about 2 minutes, had all of her food just thrown about the table. She, oddly enough, had 3 cell phones, none of which were like smartphones, all like old
flip phones.
Flip phones. I'm failing to enunciate this podcast.
That's okay.
I don't know why the spirit of Mike Tyson has just kind of overtaken me. But
it's Mike Tyson mysteries.
She had 3 flip phones just out on the table as well, and then all of her personal belongings in her bag just thrown on the table. And this lady looked insane. She must have been pretty old, like late 40s, early 50s. Looked insane, and then she was just kind of like mixing them up on the table, like personal possessions. Like how
will I eat my nail polish or a fry?
Like how a child shuffles a card, like a deck of cards, where you just throw it on the table and swirl it around and then kind of put it all back together.
Yeah.
She was doing that with her personal possessions, fries, nuggets, and 3 flip phones, just swirling them around the table.
Will I bite into a nugget or a flip phone? Only time will tell.
And the reason I know all this, because like I said prior, I was not facing her. The reason I know this is I was getting up a lot because I was very uncomfortable that was happening 2 feet away from me, and I couldn't see it. So I'd get up a lot to like grab a napkin or refill my drink, even though it wasn't empty. Like I was getting up a lot. I did not like the fact that she was
sip like one sip of your drink and then go refill it.
I did not like the fact this lady was in my blind spot. But she was doing that for a while, and then eventually she got up and started pacing back and forth around her table, just singing to herself. And it wasn't real songs. It wasn't even real words. Awesome. She was just singing gibberish to herself.
And the McDonald's just allowed this to happen.
I mean,
at a certain point, you do hold the right to kick someone out, especially when they're acting like that.
True, but what do you expect? It's McDonald's. I don't think any of those teenage employees are going to care enough to do something about it.
True, I guess.
But yeah, it was bad. Oh my god, and I've wanted to tell that story for so long, but every time we bring up like fast food horror stories, I end up telling some other story, like about that horrible Karen, or the time I had.
That shit pisses me off.